Hello and welcome to your one-stop shop for all the information you didn't know you needed. This is the set. This is the desk. This is the wildly unhealthy cactus. This is the script. I'm your host, Ethan Winglass, and this is the Every 2 Week show. Tonight's top story is the Juul.
The biggest e-cigarette maker, Juuling.
Juuling. The Juul is the latest trend in e-cigarettes.
It's very serious. If you don't know what a Juul is, then it's a flash drive. Can I please have it back, Mom? For those of you that do not live under a rock at the bottom of a hole in an uncharted territory, or Wyoming, you must know that a Juul is an electronic vaporizer. You've probably used one yourself. There is a very real possibility that a good portion of viewers are Juuling at this moment. The Juul has spread across colleges, high schools, middle schools, and the coolest of elementary schools. But what is it exactly? Where does the latest trend come from, and who is behind the product that's on everyone's lips, tongue, esophagus, and cerebral cortex? All that and more when we come back. Welcome back from my shameless plug. For those of you with stunted memory, we were discussing the Juul. In 2007, James Monsees and Adam Bowen founded Plume after graduating from Stanford. Their breakthrough invention, the Pax, was essentially the Juul's grandfather. The Pax was designed to vaporize leaf tobacco. It was in no way intended for marijuana use. Allegedly. The Pax eclipsed sales of 500,000 units in February of 2015, a milestone they celebrated by generously reducing the price of the unit by $50. In June 2015, Plume, then renamed Pax Labs, released the Juul starter kit for the hardly arbitrary price of $50. Vaping was previously viewed as something only hipster Brooklyn trash would do. But Juul has bypassed this stigmatization, and the proof is in the mango-flavored pudding. According to the Truth Initiative, between 2016 and 2017, Juul saw a 641% increase in sales. Now, before we go into the significance of that figure, we need to discuss who the Truth Initiative are and why they're monitoring Juul so closely. The Truth Initiative are a nicotine awareness nonprofit. When it was founded, the Truth Initiative, or Truth, was tasked with curbing and preventing youth smoking. They were funded by a $1.5 billion forfeiture made by the 5 major tobacco companies in the 1998 Tobacco Master Settlement Agreement. This agreement, the outcome of a mass lawsuit against Big Tobacco, resulted in countless legal motions, including the removal of advertisements that targeted teenagers, such as the Marlboro Man and Joe Camel. Since the agreement, Truth has kept a watchful eye on all nicotine products, but where they have fallen short is the Juul. Now, let's go back to that 641% increase in sales figure. In addition to tracking the growing number of Juul's users, the Truth Initiative also found that youths are 16 times more likely to be ripping Juul than their older counterparts. So, Truth has told us that the amount of Juul users is going up, and a significant portion of them are teenagers. But aren't they the organization whose purpose is to curb teen nicotine use? Yes, they are. And they've finally taken a swing at Juul with their devastating and visceral anti-vaping campaign. Let's take a look.
You know, one Juul pod contains as much nicotine as 20 cigarettes. 26.
Huh.
That doesn't make me want to stop vaping. It makes me want to eat a bag of magic mushrooms and live in that fuzzy Muppet world. Now, let's check out an example of what played during the commercial breaks of Punk'd.
It's not enough.
What's a pack of smokes cost? Your teeth. Smoking can cause serious gum disease that makes you more likely to lose them.
See you again.
Holy shit, that is effective. Now, you may disagree and feel as though there is no way vaping is as detrimental as smoking cigarettes, which is largely thought to be true, for now. But consider this. The linkage between cigarette smoking and lung cancer was discovered all the way back in 1929. Yet cigarette companies did such a good job swaying public opinion and undermining research that the connection between smoking and lung cancer was not recognized by the United States Attorney General until 1964. To be fair, the Juul has really only existed for 3 years. The pathological complexities are not fully understood, nor could they be, as long as long-term effects will not be apparent for some time. But in the past year alone, Juul has increased their lobbying budget by 642%. By increasing their lobbying presence, it's possible that Monsees and Bowen might be able to sweep the effects of Juul under the rug for the foreseeable future, the same way cigarettes did for nearly 4 decades. So what does the future of Juul look like? In 2017, the playmakers at Pax Labs spun Juul into an independent company. They rebranded themselves as a cigarette cessation product. On their website, CEO Kevin Burns states, "As an independent company that is not big tobacco, we are driven by our mission and commitment to adult smokers." Interesting. Because in December 2018, Juul accepted a $13 billion investment from Altria in exchange for 35% of the company. Altria, the parent company of Marlboro, Skoal, Black & Mild, you know, all that healthy shit, evaluates Juul to be worth roughly $38 billion. For those of you struggling to comprehend exactly what $38 billion is, here's a helpful breakdown. Fortnite is worth about $8 billion. Phil Knight, founder of Nike and sugar daddy of the University of Oregon, is worth $30 billion. So one gaming empire plus one sporting mogul plus one real estate tycoon equals Juul. Juul claiming that they are not big tobacco, but accepting a 35% buy-in from the United States' #1 tobacco distributor is like a restaurant claiming to be vegan, but putting meat in 35% of the dishes. But, hypothetically, let's say Juul really does hope their product becomes the tool for quitting cigarettes, and young people corrupted the concept by hijacking the market. It wouldn't be the first time an invention was bastardized. Take poor Ernst Buchner, for example, the real person credited with inventing the funnel. The funnel is a product with many uses. However, I seriously doubt Dr. Buchner envisioned the youth of the world using his invention to butt chug a warm PBR. Then again, Ernst married his first cousin, so who knows what his intentions for the funnel were. Unlike the funnel, the purpose of the Juul is clear. It's a device intended to deliver high doses of nicotine to the user's bloodstream. And now they are in bed with one of the companies that was slammed by the Tobacco Master Settlement. These corporate ties and increasingly well-financed lobbying efforts suggest Juul is evolving into an organization that looks, acts, and smells like a big tobacco company. This growth might be crucial to meeting consumer demand, but it also might be to protect the company from potential regulations. We'll be back with a representative from Juul shortly. Stick around.
I'm Julius Sleazer, and I struggled with wanting to smoke cigarettes while also maintaining my pristine, athletic build. Fortunately for me, and 9.5% of all 8th graders, I found Juuling. Most e-cigarettes use freebase nicotine, but the Juul uses nicotine salts, which create a vapor that will more readily enter your bloodstream with twice the potency. And it comes in up to 8 flavors, so you can trick your brain into thinking you've eaten a creme brulee, when in actuality all you've done is force down half a bagel and then take an Adderall. When it's been more than 30 minutes since my last nicotine-induced serotonin boost, I can take out my Juul and chug away, fully undetected. Join me in 2019 and pick up a Juul today.
Hi, Julius.
Ethan,
Thanks for coming tonight. Really appreciate it.
thanks for having me.
So we're here to talk about Juuls.
That we are, Ethan, and what a wonderful device the Juul is.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the Juul is a cessation product designed to help adult smokers quit smoking.
That's right.
Ah, that's interesting. Because in 2015, Ari Atkins said, "We don't think a lot about addiction here because we're not trying to design a cessation product at all."
Atkins is a great developer, don't get me wrong, love Ari, but he's not our PR relations team or our general counsel. Everyone at Juul is working towards a healthier world for vaping.
It's funny you say that because in the same interview, Atkins goes on to say, "Anything about health is not on our minds."
Ethan, have you ever heard of Albert Wood or Pete Dunne?
No, I can't say
Let me be more specific. Have you heard of Viagra?
Yes, I've dabbled.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. So, Viagra was invented by Pete Dunne and Albert Wood, or as I like to call him, Woody, when they were developing a blood pressure medication. And they just so happened to come about an inadvertent miracle. They developed the most efficient way to give someone an erection.
I appreciate the analogy, but what are you trying to say?
I'm
here?
trying to say at Juul, we're creating, yes, the first indoor cigarette, the best indoor cigarette. But what happened was amazing. It was incredible. It was a miracle. It was our inadvertent erection.
Okay, we're going to let that backwards logic slide and continue on to adolescents who never would have smoked cigarettes but are now happily juuling.
Listen, you just said it. We solved the problem before it even happened. They're not smoking. Yes, nicotine is dangerous, but juuling is such a healthier alternative to cigarettes.
Okay, but according to the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, young people who vape are more likely to smoke cigarettes than their non-vaping peers.
Yes, I'm familiar with that study, but that study was about e-cigarettes, not the Juul. We handle 74% of the e-cigarette market. We only have 5 measly ingredients. God knows what the other cigarette companies are using.
So you're really trying to tell me that you're unaware Blue e-cigs, your competitor, uses the same 5 ingredients. In fact, Juul uses twice the amount of nicotine, which is arguably the most detrimental ingredient for adolescent users.
Yes, I understand that the nicotine crisis is very real for the teenagers at this time, but listen, what Juul is doing right now, we're getting rid of all of our fruit pods. Like, I think I've got the last mango pod in here somewhere. It's like right here, right here. Listen, what's more dangerous? A fruit medley vapor or an AR-15? I'll take the latter.
Yes, but I don't know what you're trying to prove in the sense that vaping
You
is...
don't know the truth, Ethan. The truth is we're an independent company.
You're not an independent company. You're partially owned by Altria. Altria, the parent company of Marlboro, Skoal, Black & Mild, you know, all that healthy shit.
What the fuck was that?
How does linking with Altria, conglomerates scolded by the Tobacco Settlement Agreement for dishonesty, make Juul a better company?
Altria has learned from their mistakes. Juul is building a better brand, a better company. We are stronger than we have ever been in building this healthy environment.
So it has nothing to do with Altria's lobbying, their extensive distribution network, or their history and experience with dealing vices?
No.
Okay. Well, Julius, that's all the time we have tonight for you. I appreciate you stopping by, and I wish you the best of luck in defending and trying to withstand the barrage of facts and scientific evidence framed against your Juul.
You betcha.
There. That was Julius Sleazer, the leading bastard in all vaping and e-cigarette alternatives. We'll be right back with our wrap-up. Well, that's our show. It's also worth noting that Altria has made a concurrent investment of $2 billion in the marijuana company Cronos, which means one thing, An absolutely game-changing product is on the way, and we'll be here to report on it when that day comes. I'm Ethan Winglass, and this is the Every 2 Weeks Show. We'll see you in 14 days. Ish. Cut.